Hey, what's up? Welcome back to Penguin and Berry, and I'm gonna be cuddling with this blanket because I'm so cold! But it's okay, it's fine. It's fine. I was just thinking, so it's the month of October, and there was this crazy thing that happened to me, and because it's the month of like all this scariness and like all the crazy stuff, I just thought that I could share this crazy story that happened with you. Okay, so I gotta kind of set the scene. So a couple years ago, I was serving a mission for my church. I belong to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and I was in Wyoming. And as a missionary, you go out with a companion, so you're not just by yourself, but I was with another girl, and we'll call her Sarah. I'm not sure whether or not she wants her name in this, so we'll just call her Sarah. And we had our apartment broken into. Oh my gosh, guys, it was so scary. So what happened was we got to our apartment and we were new to this area. And what you do on a mission is you just tell people about the Savior Jesus Christ, and you help them come to know him. And so you live in different areas, and so in this particular area, we were in Thermopolis, Wyoming, and we lived in an apartment. And honestly, so Thermopolis, Wyoming, there's not a lot going on in that town. Like, it's very tiny. It's in a very, very, very rural area, and so we felt really safe there. But the only problem was our front door didn't lock, and so while we were there, every night we were a little bit, I guess, concerned that our door didn't lock, just because we were two women just living on our own. And so even though we felt super safe in the city and everything, we just still wanted to, I guess, have that peace of mind of having your door locked. And so we made this crazy contraption. If I can find a picture of it, I'll insert it for you. But anyways, we made this crazy contraption that we would put in front of our front door at night. And because, let me backtrack. So my whole life, I have been terrified, like absolutely terrified of having someone break into my house. Like, that is probably my biggest fear, is like waking up and like having like an intruder in my house. Or, because I just feel like having someone come into your house and murder you is like terrifying. And so I really just did not want to deal with that, like, at all. The thought of it still just gives me the heebie-jeebies. But anyways, so because I've had that fear, that's why we made this contraption, because I was convinced that someone was gonna come into our house and murder us. And honestly, I wasn't wrong. I'm just kidding. I mean, they didn't murder us, but still. So anyways, so we made this crazy contraption that we put in front of our front door, and it was basically two chairs. So like, we basically like stacked like two chairs on top of each other, like duct taped them and like some other things, and we put it like right in front of the front door so that if someone did happen to break in, it would cause like a big loud sound and it would alert us, basically. I don't know. I mean, thinking back to it now, it probably wouldn't have helped that much, but anyways. So my whole thing was I just wanted to be alerted if someone came into my house. Like, I wanted to be awake before they killed me, you know? That was my thinking. And so basically, we made this contraption, yada, yada, yada. And we had to go out of town because we had like a big meeting with all the other missionaries in our area. And so we had to drive to Cody, which was like 2 hours away, to go to this big meeting. And so while we were gone, we had our contraption up and everything. And honestly, I didn't think anything was really going to happen or anything while we were gone that day. But I am just gonna put a big disclaimer that I am the world's most scarediest cat person. Like, I am terrified. I get really anxious about things. I am just terrified about like things around that manner. So while we were gone all day. And so we didn't get back to our apartment until really late that night. And so when we got back, it was really dark because, so our back door, we also had a back door, and where we lived, we would pull in back of our house because that's where we lived in an apartment. And so in the back of the apartment is where you would park all the cars, and then every apartment had a back door. And so when you parked your car, you just go in through the back door. And so we parked our car, and there wasn't any back porch lighting, and I don't know why there wasn't, but there was just, it was an older building, and so they just didn't have any lighting back there. So when you got back late at night, it was kind of creepy because it was just like all like blacked out and everything, and oh, I always pictured like someone like coming up behind me or something. Anyways, so must I digress? So we go out of the car, and I was with Sarah, and she would always go ahead because she was the fearless one, and so she'd always kind of check things out, make sure things were all right, and we always had to unlock our back door. So our back door had a lock, our front door didn't. I know, kind of weird, but so she would always go first and like unlock the back door, and like we would go in. And so this particular night, I was like extra scared for some reason, and as we were going in and unlocking the door to our apartment, Sarah was checking it out, and we realized that our front door was wide open. Like it was just wide open, and it was terrifying. Oh my gosh, we ran out of there so fast. Because let me paint this picture for you. Because the front door was open and we had like that weird crazy trap in front of it or whatever, oh my gosh, like we knew that someone had been in there because our trap contraption or whatever was like knocked over and the door was like wide open. Like we knew that someone had been in there. We didn't know if they were still in there. And oh my gosh, let me tell you, we hightailed it out of there. We drove and we went to a member of our congregation's house, and they were so kind. It was literally really late at night, and we just go banging on their door. Thinking back, I'm like really embarrassed that we did this, but we didn't know if like someone was still in there. We were terrified, and so we like go banging on their door. We're just like, we think someone broke into our apartment, like we're terrified, like please help us. And they were so nice. So because this is Thermopolis, Wyoming, everyone has guns, and so they just kind of like went over there with a gun, and they went through the house for us, and it was very obvious that someone had broken in, but they weren't there. So like they went through the house, and we called the police, and the police were there, and the police went through the house as well. Nothing was stolen, but it was very obvious, like things were very obvious that someone had been there. And so we were really freaked out, and we were really nervous, and guys, that isn't even the creepiest part. So we were creeped out, we didn't want to be in our apartment, and so we actually ended up spending the night with some other missionaries that were in a nearby town. And so we spent the night at their house, and then we went back to our house the next day. And guys, this is what's so creepy and scary about this story besides just someone breaking into the house. Gosh, it like gives me the chills. Do I even say it? Okay. Guys. So we go into this house, and we're just kind of checking everything out, you know, just trying to settle ourselves down. And you won't believe this. So what happened is like maybe like 2 days earlier or 3 days earlier, we were talking about how we needed to get a new vacuum because our current vacuum wasn't working. And guess what was in our house? Yep, a brand new vacuum. Now here's the super creepy part. I know you guys are thinking, what? That's not scary? Like a vacuum? What? Like that's not scary. It's not like a dead person or anything. But let me just clarify, guys. Okay. So we did not tell a single soul. We didn't tell anyone that we needed a new vacuum. We just casually mentioned it to each other while we were in this apartment. And all of a sudden someone breaks in and they like give us a vacuum. Like, come on. Like, that was terrifying. And so I don't know how they like knew we needed a vacuum. I don't know, like I don't know. But anyways, so that was like the creepy thing that happened, and we ended up getting a lock on our door and we were fine. But whenever I just think about like what could have happened, like what if we were home when they came? You know, that would have been really scary. And what if they didn't just want to give us a vacuum? And how did they even know that we needed a vacuum? And plus, okay, so this is the other thing. I know it wasn't a member in that area because they wouldn't break. You don't just break into a missionary's apartment. You know, if they wanted to give us a vacuum, they would just leave it on our front porch, or they would knock, and if we weren't home, they would just let us know that they wanted to give us a vacuum. But none of them would know, you know? So I don't know how they knew. I don't know why they came in. I don't know why they gave us a vacuum, but they did. And so that was my super creepy, like just terrifying experience that I had with someone breaking into our house. And honestly, it's still my biggest fear is that someone's gonna break into my house when I'm home. And so leave a comment down below about if you've ever had your house broken into or what your greatest fear is. And then just give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel because there's gonna be a lot more videos coming your way. So I hope you guys all have a good day, and I am gonna try and get some housework done because as you can probably see in the background, my house is a little bit messy. So toodles and stay safe. Happy Halloween, guys. Bye.